is dated 12th of March 1972, and it's based on the beautiful subject of the power to collect and store, the success basis. So let's begin. Do you constantly consider yourselves to be the embodiment of success? Or do you experience yourselves to easily attain success? In order to become the embodiment of success constantly and easily, you need two main powers. On the basis of these two powers, you can constantly and easily become the embodiment of success. What are these two powers? You already have faith in the intellect. So what powers do you now need to make effort for success? One is the power to fight, sangram, and the other is the power to take and accumulate goodness, sangraha. So note this is an important aspect, the power to fight, and the other is the power to take and accumulate goodness. This also includes taking and accumulating goodness for others. It includes taking and accumulating goodness of all types. One is the power to fight, and the other is the power to take and accumulate the goodness. If you have both these powers, there cannot be a lack of success. What is the reason for a lack of success in any task or in your effort? You either do not know how to take and constantly attain success, or you do not know how to fight. If you have both these powers, you can easily and constantly attain success. This is why you must make effort to fill yourself with both these powers. When any task comes in front of you, before you begin that task, check yourself as to whether you have both these powers in your awareness. Although you may have these powers, if you do not use them at the time of performing your task, you do not attain success. After doing your task, you think, if I had done this, it would have been like this. What is the reason for this? You do not know how to use these powers at the time of need. No matter how good your weapons are, no matter how many powers you have, if you do not use those weapons or those powers for the task at the time they're needed, you cannot attain success. Because of this, before you begin any task, check yourself. When you are having a photograph taken, you prepare yourself before the picture is taken. Once the photograph is taken, no matter what it is like, it becomes a memorial for all time. In the same way, this is an unlimited camera in which the picture of every second is being taken. If you put yourself right after the picture has been taken, it is wasteful. In the same way, begin any task after stabilizing yourself in the state of being the embodiment of power. If someone performs a beautiful act off stage, how will the audience be able to see it? It's the same here. First of all, stabilize yourself in your stage and then perform your act, for only then will your act be accurate and worthy of being praised. When you come off stage, you start to perform your act in an ordinary way, and then you think about it. However, at that time, you do not have that stage. The time has then gone by. The photograph has already been taken. This is why you must constantly have both these powers at all times in every task. Sometimes you have the force to fight and you forget to take and accumulate goodness. And sometimes You think about taking and accumulating the goodness, and you forget to fight. Both have to be simultaneous. What will be the result by using all the powers? Success. Your thoughts, words, and actions, all three will be the same. This is called being a master, almighty authority. It should not be that you have very elevated thoughts, that you continue to make plans and also speak about them in words, and yet at the time of doing, you are not able to do it. Would you then be called a master, almighty authority? The main qualifications of a master, almighty authority is that his thoughts, words, and actions will all be the same. At present, from time to time, these words emerge. I did think about it, but I wasn't able to do it. There is a difference visible between the plans and the practice. However, the plans of those who are master almighty authorities and who are constantly the embodiment of success will take practical shape. Everyone wishes to be the embodiment of success. Since you have an elevated desire and aim, then together with that aim, you should also plan to make your words and actions as elevated. However, because of weakness, you are not able to put into a practical form whatever plans you have created. This is because you lack the power to fight and the power to take and accumulate at the same time. In the olden days, when an enemy came in front of you on the battlefield, you would have a sword in one hand and also a shield in the other hand. So the sword and the shield would both carry out their own tasks. Here also you need this practice. You need the practice to use both of them at the same time. Since all of you consider yourselves to be masters, are you masters in all aspects? Just as the Father's name is Trimurti Shiva, in the same way, all of you are Master Trimurti Shiva. Are you not? You also have 3 tasks to perform. Do you not? You do service on the basis of this. What are your 3 forms? One is the Brahmin form, through which you carry out the task of establishment. The second is the form of Shakti, through which you carry out the task of destruction. And by considering yourself to be a world mother or a world father, a bestower of blessings, or a great donor, you sustain everyone. The form of a world father is included in the form of being a bestower of blessings. So if you constantly have these 3 forms in your awareness, these virtues would then be visible in your acts. Just as the Father always has the awareness of his 3 forms, in the same way, whilst walking and moving along, you should have the awareness of your 3 forms, that you are a master Trimurti. You need to perform all these 3 tasks simultaneously. It is not that the time of carrying out the establishment is separate from the time of destruction, which is yet to come. Continue to create a new creation and also continue to destroy the old creation. Continue to destroy the devilish sanskars or any old weaknesses at the same time. You're bringing about new sanskars and finishing the old sanskars. Many have the virtue of creating a new creation, but because of not having the form of Shakti, of a destroyer, they're not able to attain success. This is why both are needed at the same time. You can only have this practice when you have the practice of being soul conscious within 1 second. Only those who have such a practice are successful in every task. Stabilize yourself in the form of being a great donor, a bestower of blessings, a world mother or world father, and a purifier. And when you then give drishti to any souls, you'll be able to make them attain blessings through that drishti. You can also enable them to attain something through your attitude. That is, you can sustain them. However, you must constantly have the awareness of this form. Brahmins very quickly carry out establishment after having told a story or given knowledge. However, you need to pay greater attention to the tasks of destruction and sustenance. At the time of giving sustenance, if you sustain any soul by having a benevolent attitude and vision, then no matter how bad that soul may have been, with your sustenance, you're able to make him merciful. No matter how impure the soul may be, with your attitude of being a purifier, you are able to purify that soul. If you look at his impurities, you will not be able to do anything. Just as a mother never looks at the weaknesses or defects of her children, she's always concerned about putting that right. In the same way, by constantly stabilizing yourself in the task of giving sustenance, you're able to move along accurately. A mother has two special powers, the power to tolerate and the power to accommodate. In the same way, if you use both these powers at the time of giving sustenance to any soul, you will definitely attain success. But only if you do this while stabilizing yourself in the form of a world mother or a world father. If you see yourselves in the form of a brother or sister, there is a margin for having other thoughts. But consider yourselves to be like a mother or father. Parents tolerate so much for the sake of the children and accommodate everything for them. Only then can they sustain them and make them worthy. So at the time of performing every action, you must keep these three forms in your awareness. As is your awareness, so is your form. As is your form, so is your success. By having the awareness of all the three forms, you automatically receive power. This is all through a position. By stabilizing yourself in your position, you receive power and strength. If you remember the name of the Father, then you can definitely consider yourself to be a master. You remind everyone of his name. You take the name of the Father so many times, either in your mind or in words. So as is the Father's name, I too am a master, Trimurti Shiva. If you have this in your awareness, you will receive success. So constantly be the embodiment of success. At present, it is not the time to fail in anything. If you're successful 10 times and not successful once, that is still called a lack of success. So by constantly having the form and the task in your awareness at the same time, you're able to work wonders. Otherwise, what happens is that you have to make a lot of effort and yet receive very little attainment. Because of having very little attainment, you then develop weaknesses. Your enthusiasm reduces. Your courage and hope reduce. It is then your own fault. You apply an axe to your own feet. Therefore, since you yourselves are responsible, you must constantly pay attention. So from now onwards, let the past be past. Bring about power in yourself with your awareness and constantly be the embodiment of success. Then the difference that remains, whereby you have a lot of zeal and enthusiasm today, and it is reduced tomorrow, that difference will be finished. You will then constantly experience zeal and enthusiasm and attainment within your own self. You have to make Maya and the elements your servants. In the golden age, you do not experience any unhappiness because you made the elements your servants. The reason for unhappiness is to be a servant of Maya or of the elements. If you do not become their servant, can there be any unhappiness? So you must never be a servant of Maya. If you become a servant of Maya or the elements to a great extent here, then you will also have to become a servant there, because your sanskars will be of being a servant. If here you are a servant and experience unhappiness, and there also you become a servant, what is the benefit of that? Therefore, check. If there is any unhappiness, you must definitely have been a servant of Maya at some point. You cannot experience unhappiness without being a servant. So first of all, you need the power to recognize and then the power to bring about transformation. You must never become the embodiment of a lack of success. Your subjects and your bhagats will become that at the end. If those who rule the kingdom of the world are not successful, then who would become the embodiment of success? Day by day, you have to bring about transformation in yourself. While seeing and knowing the sanskars and nature of anyone, the yoga of your intellect should not be drawn to that one. Instead, you should have greater good wishes for that soul. Listen through one ear and let it out through the other. Do not give it any place in your intellect. Only then will you be able to stabilize your intellect in one place. Do not see the weaknesses of weak souls. Maintain the awareness of there being a variety of souls. Have a soul-conscious vision. By seeing them as a soul, you will be able to give power to that soul. The soul is saying that these are the sanskars of the soul. Make the lesson of the soul firm. By having the awareness of the word soul, you automatically have spirituality and good wishes, and your vision becomes pure. Even if someone is insulting you, have the awareness that soul is acting out a tamoguni part. Become your own teacher and practice this. You cannot receive help from others in order to make this lesson firm. You receive help through your own effort. Acha. Om Shanti. So very nice, Murli, which is based on success, the power to collect and store. So now take 2 minutes and please reflect on what we have just read. And then we will start the churning. Okay. I hope you had time to reflect. Anyone would like to begin with their thoughts, with their takeaways, what they would like to share from this beautiful Murli? May Baba be with us and give us the right touchings to reflect on the Murli correctly.
Om Shanti. Such
Om
a great
Shanti.
Murli. It's impossible to summarize such a great in-depth Murli in just one or two sentences. It's impossible. But still, what I would like to reflect upon is the three powers of creation, sustenance, and destruction have to go simultaneously inside, within, creating elevated thoughts, destroying the unwanted thoughts, and sustaining. I mean, that Shakti form is for the destruction, and creation is through the Brahma form, Master Brahma. And then sustenance means that whoever is coming in contact with either soul gets something, receives something as a master donor, as a master bestower of blessings, good wishes. He receives that positive energy here. That soul receives positive energy from me and from the self. That is what is the three forms going hand in hand simultaneously. So that's what is Baba describes as the master Trimurti, master Sarvashaktivan. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. Yes, very beautifully said. The Trimurti Shiva, basically having the forms of Brahman for creation, Shakti for destruction, and the world father or mother, the bestower of blessings as a great donor for sustenance. So very nicely, Baba has portrayed these three, and to create and, great thoughts, elevated thoughts every time, removing the old sanskars through destruction and then sustaining through blessings. It's an
Yes.
exercise. Beautiful. Yeah.
And the point to be noted here, what Baba brought out is that if considering brother or sister, then and that may not give you as the power to give blessings. But as a world mother, as a world father, automatically blessings go to each and every soul around, from the self, from the soul. That the position of world mother, Jagat Mata, and world father, Jagat Pita. That's a beautiful concept Baba has given.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, brother. Anyone else would like to share? Yes, Ashok bhai.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So Baba emphasized on this awareness. So I like this, everything is based on awareness here. So as is our awareness, so is our form. As is our form, so is our success.
Yes. Yes, that was a beautiful sentence of the Murli. And as is our form, so is our success. And that form is based on our awareness. And the awareness is again connected to this Trimurti Shiva, which we just spoke about.
Right. So the whole point is visualizing ourselves in that position.
Yes,
It is
very
only possible through the awareness.
Yes, yes. Very nice. Thank you, brother.
Om Shanti. There's a sentence in the Murli where Baba says, if you are facing any unhappiness, then you have become a servant to Maya.
Yeah.
And then he gives very simple tips to come out of this. And he says, move forward with the power of transformation. If any soul is telling you anything which is weakening or disempowering, listen from one ear and throw it off to another ear. And another trick he says is see everybody as a soul. The moment we see as a soul, it's easy to emerge the knowledge that each soul is in a journey, on a journey, and has its own sanskar. So, as a bestower, as a child of Baba on the path of purity and spirituality, instead of seeing otherwise the weakness of the soul, look at soul as its original swarup. So this is the takeaway for me as to how to look at coming out of any kind of unhappiness.
Yes, thank you, Raki sister. This is actually a very beautiful way that Baba expressed that anytime you feel unhappiness, that means you've been a servant to Maya. So it's a beautiful way to remember that we have to conquer Maya, be victorious over Maya, and not be a servant to Maya.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Even as rightly said, that whole thing of the Murli, I just took it like an acronym as ART, A-R-T, ART. Awareness, recognize, and transform. That was a good takeaway for our point, and that I could easily imbibe it. And then he spoke about soul, spirituality, and pure vision. But what I was trying to churn, sister, is the first paragraph, and I'm still trying to churn it. Here, Baba speaks about Sangram and Sangra. Yeah. I remember Sangram used to be a king who conquered and all. Sangram that's how the word generally used to come. But okay, Baba says you should have the power to fight. So I related it to power to face and the power to take and accumulate. I took that Sangra as a tortoise. But somewhere down, one sentence which Baba said I was trying to churn, and I would like some kind of churning on that. See the sentence. Sometimes you have the force to fight and you forget to take and accumulate goodness.
Correct.
And sometimes you think about taking and accumulating the goodness and you forget to fight. Both have to be simultaneous. I was trying to work on it. I don't think I could get a thing. I was just thinking, suppose we could churn on this.
Very good point, Sister Girja. And in fact, you're right. This was the beginning part of the Murli. And we would like anybody to share their views. Then I would also like to share mine. So let me first hear if anybody would like to comment on these two sentences, very powerful ones of the Murli.
Om Shanti. I would just like to reflect, maybe related directly or indirectly. I was just churning on this Hindi and English title of the Murli. In English, it is success basis, power to collect and store. And whereas in Hindi, it is Safalta ka aadhar, Sangrah or Sangram karne ki shakti. That is power to fight.
Fight, yes.
And that means store. I was just thinking why Baba has used store word in this thing rather than using a word fight. Because once we are full, we are full stock, then I have the power. Then that power automatically, that Shakti Swarup emerges, and then I am able to fight actually. Fight means basically I am destroying my weaknesses. That is power which is required. I am while seeing at the other souls, there's some kind of weaknesses, but still I'm not seeing it. While that means देखते हुए भी नहीं देखना. I don't know how to describe it in English. You are seeing, but yet you are not seeing. You are not keeping anything in your intellect. That is the power. That is the immunity, which I have once I become embodiment of success, which Baba describes in the Murli. So I just thought I'll reflect on this. That storing, being a storehouse means being powerful. That is, and then have the power to fight. Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you, brother. That's a good churning and reflection. Anybody else would like to share on this power to fight and power to accumulate goodness?
Hello, Om Shanti, Divine Family.
Shanti. Om Shanti, Balvinda sister.
I would like to share practical example with you, whatever happened today, and then you can help me if I'm right or wrong. What happened is my family noticed that I'm still getting angry. So they were saying, Mom, it's not working for you. What's the point? You're still getting angry. And then I did a little bit reflection. Then I thought, yeah, they were right. I'm still wrong. I'm wrong. But I'm working on myself. That's what I told myself and Baba. I'm working on myself. Today, he took my car. I was supposed to go for doctor appointment. Car wasn't home. I immediately noticed, today I have a great opportunity not to get upset. So I switched immediately. Instead of texting him or getting angry or calling him, why you're not home? I immediately changed my perspective. I focused all my energy getting my bike out and riding my bike to doctor appointment. I saved my energy. I saved his energy. Now, when he came, he said, Mom, how are you? I said, I'm all right. So here, I think I used, I think I'm progressing. Today, first time I switched, I realized, I'm going back on the same pattern. I'm going back on the same track. Thank you.
You're adding something, Balvinda sister? Okay.
Sorry,
no, I thought you're still continuing. You haven't finished.
No, sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you, sister, for that sharing. So you have actually given a practical example of lifting your own self up, fighting in making yourself rise and do what you need to do. So actually the word fight, when I'm looking at my own interpretation of this, it can be used in very different ways. It can be used in a very soul awakening form of crushing your sanskars or the bad ones. So you have the ability to fight and immediately correct your old sanskars, which is, I think, the most relevant meaning. But it also, in a very practical manner, like the example you gave, and there are hundreds of such examples. If we look at, very eminent, elevated souls who perform their worldly actions, they would get up and fight in two different ways. One is through the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword was a saying, that they would raise their voice or they would document something in a practical situation to stop something wrong. They had the power, they had the courage, the power to fight, but it was always with a goodness in heart. And this Baba's two qualities, which he says, if you don't have even one of them, you will not succeed. So you have to have the courage and the power to fight, but you also have to have the pure intention, the power to take and accumulate the goodness. That why are you fighting? That power has to be for something which is pure and good. So that's one practical format. And the other practical format is also like in many years ago, where you did not have these courts of law and stuff. And he's also given an example of a shield and a sword in the same Murli. And if you see a lot of the angels, which are depicted even in Christianity, and if you look at some of the other religious formats, they show the sword. If you see Mother Durga with all the weapons, so actually in different formats, the fight is not used negatively. It's used very positively because everybody doesn't have this power. And if you do not have this power, however good you may be, however pure you may be, you're not able to succeed because you just don't have that ability to fight. And I think Baba has so beautifully expressed this that you need both. On the other hand, if you have the power to fight, but it is not with a pure intention, not with the goodness accumulation, you're still not going to get success. So for me, this is a very powerful line. And I have a lot of my own personal journey examples, which maybe I'll share some other day, which is on these 2 points, the power to fight and the power to accumulate goodness. Anybody else would like to churn? This is a good, important...
Sister, what you told, the first part, it totally entered my mind. If you just have the force to fight, you are like a warrior on the field. You just want to kill that other person. You want to prove to that other person you are Shakti. And you're not ready to take in the good things which are coming out of it. Fine. And if suppose I show my Shakti form and I am also have that Sankirna Shakti, fine. But see that second part, I have already taken goodness, and then he's saying you forget to fight. Now, when I have already thought of having intention of only taking goodness, why should I just overpower somebody? Now, when you said sword and shield, that is one is attacking and protecting. Yes. But here, just that last part when Baba said, you forget to fight, that only put me off. Baba, I have already, you told me to accumulate goodness. That is such a lovely power to take goodness. So why should I not forget to fight? And Baba is saying, you forget. Just that one thing put me off, nothing else.
Right, sister. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes, brother, go ahead.
Om Shanti, this shield represents the immunity power that while fighting, some soul's weakness, कहते हैं ना कि बुराई से घृणा करो, इंसान से नहीं. उसके अंदर जो बुराई, that weakness is there, that is what we have to fight it out. And our endeavor as a world mother is to ensure that that weakness does not remain there. That soul is, out of that weakness. So that weakness should not, while fighting, that weakness should not affect either soul. It should not, like in the process, I only get that weakness because I was looking at that, I was seeing that, and weakness enters in my intellect. That is why the shield is playing a role there. And second is in mythology also, when Shakti avatar, how Shakti, was created. All the deity souls, all the deities have given the powers collectively, and then the Shakti form came. So this collection, the power to accumulate all the divine virtues, sangraha, that accumulation power gives the position, that the form where the soul can fight has got the power. Om Shanti.
Yes, brother. And also, if you look at the Gita example, Lord Krishna, guiding Arjuna on what is happening and encouraging him to fight, because that's with all the goodness of that there's lack of body consciousness there, like in the sense that only when you're attached, you feel that you're killing your brother or sister. I mean, in the sense, there's a big spiritual message in that whole churning of the Gita. And we have also in other faiths, the practice of like they are having a war with each other on principle, on real moral reasons. So they are not fighting because they're against that person. They're fighting because there is a virtue attached to that. And even after the fight, they are actually giving them water, they are healing them, they are taking care of them. This multifacetedness, which you also see in the life journey of Guru Gobind Singh, like these are people who had the courage to fight and the courage to forgive at the same time. There was goodness and intention in that fight. So I also see a lot of practical, our own historical examples in these two sentences that Baba has said. It's not easy to do it. This is a very, very challenging thing to do both at the same time. To be so pure, so good, and yet having the courage to fight. So it's a challenging one. But yes, for us, I think the sanskars is what we are focusing more on, to fight and kill our old sanskars and conquer Maya, because we cannot be servant to this Maya. We have to be victorious. So we continue the fight over Maya. That's the best way to see it, I think. Anybody else would like to add on anything on this?
Just adding on, today Papa also touched upon that if someone is insulting, right, then the awareness, right, that is soul. We need to maintain the awareness that the soul is acting out in Tamoguni part. Okay, so Baba says we need to become our teacher here and then practice.
Yes.
Right? The only helper that we have to make ourselves our helper through our effort.
Yes, very nice. Thank you, brother. So there's also in the message chat some messages. Balvinder's sister is saying, is there any magic pill or vaccine to recreate the whole body, mind, intellect, sanskars brand new? It is constant struggle for me. Plus, I do not understand many other things like Trimurti or vocabulary or historical background. Yeah, so in the interest of time, maybe we can take this discussion again when Rakhi sister permits a more detailed discussion. But it is a very interesting, challenging, thought-provoking point, no doubt. And Girja sister says, if I have already thought of inherent goodness, why should I remember to fight Baba? So yes, this Rakhi sister, I think we should take this up, because this is quite a lot of people are churning on this point.
Yeah, we can take a look at different plans.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like a earthen pot maker who, while giving beautiful shape to the clay and also supports from within. Yeah, beautifully said. And because it makes me a warrior soul, yes. And magic pill is the soul consciousness. Yes. Thank you for this beautiful sharing. And Sakshi sister is saying, do not see the weaknesses of weak souls. Yes, very important. Actually, that itself is like an inner fight. So when you use the word fight, there's also an inner fight. So that's the main fight actually here. Like if you see the weakness of another soul, you have to fight it out inner and destruct that thought immediately and see the soul that, yes, this person is also a soul like me, and see the variety of souls around and look at them with blessings and power to give like a donor. And then we will not be servants to Maya. So in this, just connecting the few key points of the Murli.
Just adding on to what you said, Harpreet, and few of the Murli's Babas mentioned that when you are seeing weakness of other soul, it is more about you than about them. So always look at the goodness of the other soul. Look at the soul as their original sanskar, and you will never be a prey to looking at the weaknesses of others. And it is going to be only coming through practice.
Absolutely. Any last points anybody would like to add? I'm also reminded that we are soon going to have a beautiful session tomorrow on the divine color of holy by BK Sister Sona Behri. So everybody please do join. And holy has a lot of spiritual significance, what Baba has taught us, and it would be a very interesting session to listen to at the same time. So can we do the meditation now?
Yes, sister.
So I'm going to intuitively do something which comes from the lines that we have read And I leave it to Baba to put those thoughts in my head as we start the meditation. Okay. So sit back and relax and focus on the vibrations within you. As you connect first to your own self, observing your breath calmly, breathing in, breathing out, recognizing that yes, you have a body, but you're only aware of the body and you would like to move into the soul conscious state. And you soon reflect on your inner soul in the center of your forehead, a beautiful shining starlight, such a beautiful light. And after churning this Murli, Baba welcoming me and all of us as beautiful souls, you exit the body, the shining star leaving the physical body, rising higher and higher, leaving the earth far behind and going to the higher energy form in the subtle world, and then rising even above the subtle world into the light of Baba, the light of Shiv Baba, and getting energized with the powerful light of Baba. And this light making me so powerful that I can see my soul automatically with a shield around it, a shield to defend the attack from Maya. Such is the power that I now get in this meditative state. Maya cannot touch me. I have the power to fight the Maya. I have the power to remain pure. I am a pure soul. I am a courageous and fearless soul. I am a happy and joyful soul. I am a kind and compassionate soul. I am a soul that can fight and at the same time have all the goodness of purity within me. No Maya attack can make me weak, as I am a powerful soul. I am a victorious soul that have conquered Maya. And Baba's light shining within me so brightly that I can spread these beautiful vibrations across the universe. And with good thoughts and feelings, pure intention on all the souls in the universe, I spread these blessings of power, that every soul is powerful and can rise above this Maya. For a few seconds, visualize this beautiful image of everyone having conquered Maya. These powerful embodiments of goodness and purity. Baba's light blessing every soul. And my own soul is shining so brightly with this powerful energy. And now he says, you return to be the instrument on the earth, but with the same power that you have now received. So see yourself returning back to your body but transformed into this powerful conqueror of Maya soul. I am a beautiful instrument of Baba. And I'm not only powerful myself, I spread the power around me. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Heart Sister. Indeed, a beautiful affirmation. Need to practice and preach on that. Thank you, Divine Family, and see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a wonderful day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Baba.